by striking 5 and inserting 7. E. Secretary of the Air Force, Section 9013, A.2, of Title 10, United States Code, is amended by striking 5 and inserting 7. F. Technical corrections relating to other positions. 1. Under Secretary of Defense, Controller, Section 135, A.1, of Title 10, United States Code, is amended by striking the Armed Forces and inserting an Armed Force. 2. Under Secretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness, Section 136, A, of Title 10, United States Code, is amended by striking the Armed Forces and inserting an Armed Force. 3. Under Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, Section 137, A, of Title 10, United States Code, is amended by striking the Armed Forces and inserting an Armed Force. G. Applicability. The amendments made by subsections A through E shall apply with respect to appointments made on or after the date of the enactment of this Act. Sec. 902. Clarification of treatment of Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation as a Department of Defense field activity. A. Treatment of Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation as a Department of Defense field activity. 1. Transfer to Chapter 8, Section 146 of Title 10, United States Code, is transferred to Subchapter I of Chapter 8 of such title, inserted after Section 197, and redesignated as Section 198. 2. Treatment as Department of Defense field activity. Section 198A of such title, as transferred and redesignated by subsection A of this subsection, is amended A. by striking in the Office of the Secretary of Defense an office to be known as the and inserting in the Department of Defense an, and B. by adding at the end the following. The Secretary shall designate the office as a Department of Defense field activity pursuant to Section 191, effective as of the date of the enactment of the William M. Mac. Thornberry National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021, Public Law 116-283. 3. Appointment of Director. Such Section 198 is further amended, A. in subsection B. in the matter preceding paragraph 1, by striking under Secretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment and inserting Secretary of Defense, and B. in subsection C. 4, by striking under Secretary of Defense for Acquisition and Sustainment and inserting Secretary. 4. Clerical Amendments. A. Chapter 4. The table of sections at the beginning of Chapter 4 of Title 10, United States Code, is amended by striking the item relating to Section 146. B. Chapter 8. The table of sections at the beginning of Subtitle I of Chapter 8 of such title is amended by inserting after the item relating to Section 197 the following new item. 198. Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation. B. Limitation on involuntary separation of personnel. No personnel of the Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation under Section 198 of Title 10, United States Code, as added by subsection A, may be involuntarily separated from service with that office during the one-year period beginning on the date of the enactment of this Act, except for cause. C. Administration of programs, any program, project, or other activity administered by the Office of Economic Adjustment of the Department of Defense as of the date of the enactment of the William M. Mac. Thornberry National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021, Public Law 116-283, shall be administered by the Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation under Section 198 of Title 10, United States Code, as added by subsection A. D. Conforming Repeal, Section 905 of the William M. Mac. Thornberry National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021. Public Law 116-283, is repealed. Sec. 903. Enhanced role of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering on the Joint Requirements Oversight Council. A. In general. Section 181 of Title 10, United States Code, is amended, 1, in subsection B, A, by redesignating paragraphs 2 through 6 as paragraphs 3 through 7, respectively, and B, by inserting after paragraph 1 the following new paragraph 2, increasing awareness of global trends, threats, and adversary capabilities to address gaps in joint military capabilities and validate joint requirements developed by the military departments, and 2, in subsection D, 1, D, by striking the period at the end and inserting the following, who shall serve as the Chief Technical Advisor to the Council and I shall provide assistance in evaluating the technical feasibility of requirements under development. And 2, shall identify options for expanding or generating new requirements based on opportunities provided by new or emerging technologies. B. Independent study. 1. Study required. The Secretary of Defense shall enter into an agreement with a covered entity to conduct an independent study assessing the role of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering on the Joint Requirements Oversight Council. 2. Elements. The study required by paragraph 1 shall include the following: A. The current role and contribution of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering to the Joint Requirements Oversight Council. b. The extent to which the role of the Undersecretary on the Joint Requirements Oversight Council should be adjusted to further maximize Council outcomes as well as the additional resources, if any, such adjustments would require. c. The extent to which the Undersecretary of Defense should provide additional views and recommendations on Joint Requirements Oversight Council preparations, deliberations, and outcomes. d. Such other matters as the Secretary of Defense determines to be appropriate. 3. Submission to Congress, not later than December 31, 2022. The Secretary shall submit to the Congressional Defense Committees the results of the study required by paragraph 1. 4. Form with the study required by paragraph 1 shall be submitted in unclassified form but may include a classified annex. 5. Covered entity defined. In this subsection, the term covered entity means a federally funded research and development center, or b. an independent, non-governmental organization, described under Section 501, c. 3 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 and which is exempt from taxation under Section 501a. of such code, which has recognized credentials and expertise in national security and military affairs. c. Report on the role of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering in the Joint Requirements Oversight Council. 1. In general. Not later than March 1, 2023, the Secretary of Defense, in consultation with the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, shall submit to the Congressional Defense Committees a report on the recommendations of the Secretary of Defense on the extent to which adjustments to the role of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering on the Joint Requirements Oversight Council are warranted. The report shall include a. Consideration of the findings of the study required by subsection b. The rationale for recommendations of the Secretary of Defense, and c. A description of additional resources that may be required to support those recommendations. 2. Additional input. The report may also include input from each member or advisor of the Joint Requirements Oversight Council. Sec. 904. Implementation of Repeal of Chief Management Officer of the Department of Defense. Section 901, b. 1, of the William M. Mac. Thornberry National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021, Public Law 116-283, is amended by striking, except that any